when you're dealing with this system about how they continue to keep hurting you, and you just gotta just deal with it. They just want you to just deal with it. We can give you a little bit of relief. If you go to work or if you're in a position, you have to buy your relief from this cellular activity that these people use. They use people and they keep your stuff in a system somewhere so that you don't have to suffer or have to be in the hospital for long periods of time. They use it so that somebody else can get out of jail, but they acting like they don't absolutely know who the people is. They're helping the people. They helping, they lying, and they saying this and that was going on, but they don't expect for that stuff to truly happen to you so that you, or to them, they expect it to happen to you. They want you to live a good life, and then this information relays over to somebody else. They take it because their parents was in the wrong, so they're trying to cover and protect their parents, so their parents have to go through something, and then it bumps somebody off when it shifts it over towards the person way, the father of the child. It caters to them more than it caters to the other side of the family. And when he walks off and he leaves, he has all the stuff, that the information for your family, everything, all the memory, all the stuff like that that's supposed to be good. They walk off, they take it from you, and it caused my father to die. These people talking about suicide and all this other shit. This shit was happening before. It happened before. This wasn't nothing that just happened in my life just one time. It happened before because I had my grandmother that was ill with a brain tumor, and then they came back and they tried to do that shit to my son, and was like he had a tumor on his eye and all this other stuff, when whatever this system is was saying that when they came to Candace and certain different people, they could not say anything about a cancer. Even when you are sick and going through some shit, they're gonna say that it's a tumor, but it's not cancerous, because they don't have the right to kill you with the system. They don't. If you accept it, then they do. If you tell them, I accept you making me sick with the shit, then they will make you sick with it. They'll give you all the opportunities because you're taking a risk to come and work for them. They will make your children sick with the shit. You'll be sick going through some stuff, and they'll be sitting making your children sick. They just want everybody to come behind them and be on board so that you could know and understand. If you accept this marriage, you're accepting sickness and illness and shit like that. And more than likely, that illness and that sickness is coming from Whirlpool. The W's. They're going to try to make it seem like it's behind the actual people, but it's the company. And then they say you got to keep up with this stuff on your health. If you don't keep up with your health, then you could be disqualified, or I could disqualify myself out of you so that you cannot receive my help. And then they blackball you and they say that you cannot, you can't work for this place. We're not hiring. We're not this and we're not that. They will do that shit to you. They'll do it. Number one, because it's a business situation and move. It was moved to cover people like this is how they pay you back for infidelities and shit like that. They just kick you out of the job. They kick you out of the whatever. And they say you're helping a whole bunch of people be better. But then they use your job, or they'll use, different things to make you lose your income and shit. But that person, when they have these side chicks and shit like that, what they do is they say, this stuff is going away. Like, I see you're not doing anything, and this is happening to you. So now we know that this is you. When the truth of the matter is that this is the history that was behind that. I was a part of the history that they couldn't get rid of, and they always make sure that they leave one person behind so that someone knows the information behind what's going on, so that they can use it for their own advantage. It's not to take care of me. It's not to help me. It is to help them. It is not for me. It is to help them, because they can't help me. They know they can't help me. There's a system that's telling them to stay away. That's the reason why they had to use and conceal themselves and create a whole new quote unquote world and class and different areas because they were trying to get rid of a whole bunch of different stuff. And religion cancels that shit out for them. It cancels it out, and then it puts you behind the authority. You're no longer before the authority. It puts you behind the authority so that they can treat you and use you any kind of way that they want to use you on the job. So they can go back to selling these birthrights and this energy, giving pastors and different things like that the authority and power to say, okay, if you come to my church and if you pay tithes and all this other different stuff, then you can have my coverage. And if you don't, then you no longer have my coverage. That's what the system is. It just basically covers certain people when you're going to their church and you're paying for their protection and shit like that. And then when you're out, you just have to deal with fucked up stuff. They make people, this system, even with the church, this system helps you to abandon your children that you haven't taken care of. This system makes you, it's like it feeds you different information on different sides, and they can make certain things happen and act like, oh, this is the father and this is not the father, when you already have paperwork stated that, yeah, we went forward and we did this, but because the stuff was caught up on the wrong side, they prosecuting and they giving a whole bunch of stuff that didn't really happen on one side. It had to happen on the other side. Whatever happened on one side of the cycle had to happen on the other side. So that means that other people on one side of the system was getting blessed. But because they don't want to say anything, they tell you don't say nothing because they already know that if you go down, I'm going down too. And I don't want to go down for you. Even though I was doing all this stuff to you underneath the covers, I was hiding you and I was doing all this different stuff. I don't want to go down for you. So we all have to just be quiet. We all got to be quiet and can't nobody say or talk or do nothing about it. Or it is what it is, right? Or you going to go down, or they're going to threaten to kill you, or any of this stuff. The stuff that I'm going through right now, they had tried to kill me and my children. They had planned for this stuff to happen. I have been seeing images of this stuff happening my entire life, but this dream that they're talking about is not necessarily a dream. It's images and the activity from this cellular activity that they operate these sicknesses with. They use it to catch people that supposedly sleeping with kids and stuff like that. But they used Robert had admitted to sleeping with the little girl from Lathrop Township and said that her daddy was a police officer. And he said, I asked him, why did he sleep with that little girl? And he said to pay the phone bill, to pay his cellular phone bill. Then come online and I see that there's some type of dang, I'm gonna post these pictures and stuff that I seen. I'm gonna start posting them so that y'all can see exactly what I'm talking about. I'm gonna start making these videos and posting them so that y'all can see the information that I'm talking about. But that the police officer paid the elderly lady phone bill so that she could have a phone, or that's the code, is that they'll try to use certain things to reset you, so that you'll believe and have comfort. But when you've dealt with this system for as long as I have, and these people have been picking on you and doing messed up stuff to you so that they can get away with it, and they get all types of support and different things like that. When these people are being horrible to us, they win all these different accounts. They kicking people out so that they could have to go back to the low job, so that these people don't have to lose their job and they don't have to start back over and go and work for for they don't have to go and work for McDonald's, or they don't have to work for McDonald's. They don't have to work for different things like that. And I'm starting to see and notice that these people, whatever the system is, they're using it, and they use my family to secure the situation on several different sides so that they can have whatever it is that they need. He went and he worked there. Robert, he had a child with me, and he picked up and he went to work for Cedar Point. He went to work for Cedar Point. He was there doing a whole bunch of stuff, and it was like he was a totally different person. It was like he was a totally different person after he left. Like he was much more calm. He was much more helpful to other people beside me. He would not help me. He would buy things for the kids, and he had the one girl, Rena Rupert, that he had, he said that he was supposed to run a train on her, but him and his cousin was supposed to run a train on her, but they didn't. So, and all this stuff leads back to me. They were supposed to have ran a train on me, but they didn't. And that's the quote unquote the Underground Railroad behind this situation, where they're talking about all this stuff is happening, but they're supposed to get you together. They didn't run a train because they couldn't. They ran everybody away from me, and then they made them go somewhere else and do something different. And then I just had to keep being, they tell you to stay with that person. But how can you stay with that person when they out here cheating and doing all types of stuff and talking about marrying somebody else? You can't stay with that person if they're talking about cheating and abusing your children so that they can leave and go somewhere else. Clearly, this system is out of control, and they don't even know how to control it. But they just pulling the cord, they pulling the whatever from the other side, and people are getting hurt, and they don't even understand that you're the person that's doing it. So now these people set you up to live in the fucking mess that y'all made, and then they're trying to force me out of the situation by telling me that I can't live here. They threatened to do things to the building where we live at, and was telling me that I had an ultimatum. We had to live here. Now all this stuff that's going on with these people here, this stuff is happening, and they trying to force us to move into a house and get help with a house, and these people help you with a house. I cannot afford that. With me going to school and me trying to take care of my children that y'all tried to kill, I can't afford to live in a home on my own. I refuse to go back to the city and live in the slum and send them back to Sandusky schools because y'all allowed them to get beat and bullied and harassed, and I don't want that for my children. I'm tired of y'all being able to use whatever it is that you can in order to make people mistreat me and do whatever it is that they wanted to do to me. I'm tired of people doing that shit. Because the only thing they're going to do is they're going to figure out how to reflect that shit through the school. The school has a system that they're able to figure out how to use it to reflect it so that bad shit is happening to me. If you move in this area, they corner you off and they say you left the house this way, and when I leave this apartment, I can absolutely tell you that they're going to be like, you left this apartment fucked up. You did all this stuff here. You did all this stuff here. It was fucked up. It was bad. Just like they tried to say this shit before I left the other apartment. And I was like, they said that it was disgusting. But the only thing that was done was my son had used the bathroom right before we left, and he didn't flush the toilet. And so now all of a sudden we're disgusting. The house was disgusting. And I went through the house and I checked it. They didn't even clean the house before I got it, but they wanted the house to be in better condition after I left than the condition that they gave me before it. I found all types of stuff in the closet, on the shelves. I seen all types of trash and stuff everywhere. And they said that this older lady left the house nice and neat. But Candace left this apartment. My son pissed in the toilet, and the house was disgusting because my son pissed in the toilet and didn't. He was a little child. He pissed in the toilet and forgot to flush the toilet, and so they went in on me and said all this crazy. Bobby Sue went in on me and said all this crazy stuff to me about I'm bad, or that I left that place disgusting. When the only thing we did was is we went up in there, flushed the toilet, cleaned it out, and I tidied up the kitchen a little bit more. And I'm like, I really don't understand what's so bad in this kitchen. Like, I just went in there and I re-wiped stuff down, and all of a sudden it was good. And then all of a sudden it was good enough then. All of a sudden the situation was good enough when it wasn't good enough before. All I did was went in there and I wiped it or flushed the toilet. So now the house is not disgusting, but you wanted it to be in better condition. Did you clean the carpet? Did you do this? And I said, I rented a machine. And they was like, that wasn't good enough. So now we got to go in and have these people go in and do the carpet again and heat treat the apartment. Why do you have somebody heat treating an apartment that ain't nothing in there? If ain't nothing in there, why do you have somebody heat treating an apartment? But they didn't tell the fact that they moved us into an apartment before, and the people in the apartments before was saying that there was some type of the girl Tanira White actually said that, and that stands for the initials TW, was saying that these people was going back and forth before, and this stuff was up. No, that wasn't the case. The situation was that they're trying to pin this stuff on natural resources in order to be able to tell exactly what was happening when y'all have been using these people over and over and over again. You use them in one situation and then you erase the information, just like they was erasing pictures and stuff out of my phone. All of my pictures and stuff got burned and damaged in this fire, and they're trying to say that, oh, so-and-so didn't do it, but they're trying to cover up the situation because of the things that I dealt with. They're trying to cover up this space, and they're saying, okay, you need to hurry up and do this, or you're doing this and you need to hurry up and do this. I wasn't doing anything, but because people are contacting you and they don't mean you no good, they don't love you, they don't mean you no good, and then they come into your life and they supposed to just come in, drop one off, drop a nut off, and then leave up out of your life and leave you in ruins so that you are left to deal with the mess that they consistently make. I am tired of that. I'm tired of that. You used your situation to cover your back so that I didn't have to deal with, so that you didn't have to deal with the truth of how you tore my life up. And how this person, TW, or, and WT, which would turn back to WT, they're going to try to clean this shit up, get it as neat as possible, and then they going to return it back to the person that I was dealing with, DW and TW and all these other people. That was for these people that was doing the dirty shit to me. They caused me to lose my job. They caused me to be harassed and lose my job because I dealt with this man. Because this man was dealing with me and he never once lost. He gained. Every single time after that, he gained. And I'm supposed to just not be bitter behind that because you keep coming into my life and knowing that I cared and I loved about you, and you do things to me and then you leave, and then all of a sudden people are calling child protective services on me, telling me that something happened in my home and they have to try to figure this out because they're trying to see if the man that's coming in doing it to the children's mother is the mother doing stuff to the children or the mother doing things to the children. No, the mother's not doing anything to the children. The mother fell in love with a man that was messing with the mother and she didn't know how to let him go. So the only reason that she could let him go was to continue to lie to him so that he could stay away from the situation. But now that I have questions about how and why this shit is happening, nobody have any answers for me. After I've gone through everything and I have to just forgive and forget everything because it benefits Ohio. It benefits Ohio for me to forgive and move on and forget. They continue to keep telling me, move on, forgive, and forget what these people did to you. They keep telling me to move on and forget what fucking happened to me. When you keep hurting me, you keep coming back and I forget about it, you come back and you hurt me again. And then you pin the shit off on my kids, have my kids getting beat up, tore down. I can't say nothing. I can't express anything that goes on and that happened because when they come out of this situation and they have blamed me for what happens here now, when they're going to blame me for what happened here now, they're going to go back and they're going to hug and support her and say, we shouldn't have never left you. When the truth of the matter is that you mistreated me. And because I didn't let it go, I couldn't let it go from all the instances that I've had to live through and be bullied. And I didn't have nobody. And they told people to stay away from me. I didn't have nobody to help me. I didn't have nobody to protect me. I had to literally sit and deal with it every single time. But who is supposed to hurt after I have dealt with all the hurt and pain? And I was held back for years and years and years. And everybody's trying to find somebody that they can pin it on so that they don't have to carry the weight and the birth of what's happening. And the only thing that I'm trying to do is protect my mother because they using her name, and protect my auntie and her family, her children, because they using her name to do all this fuckery while they cleaning up their own bill. And then my family have to sit and live with the torment and the shame and the pain behind all the fucking bullshit that these people created. And they don't want for you. They'll turn my family against me, turn friends against me so that people don't get to know this information. But y'all have literally taken everything away from me, my life, and y'all tormented my children because of it. Clearly, y'all not even good at what y'all doing because y'all have literally sat and tormented and would only help me unless I helped you. When I was out here helping people without being helped, I was out here giving my very last and didn't have nothing. Didn't have nothing but $50 to put food on the fucking table for 2 weeks for 2 children and 1 adult because the daddy left and abandoned us, and the other and threatened me with a gun, and the other one threatened to do drugs with him and was threatening suicide for himself. And so I was supposed to trust and leave him with a child that he was threatening suicide for himself. But then not only that, I had to turn around and be punished over and over and over again. I had to be punished for helping people, only for people to turn around and deny me help because they don't want to be punished for helping me. And nobody can understand why I'm angry. Me and my children was tortured and tormented here. And these people was laughing about it. And they were supporting it. And it's only because they just wanted to protect themselves. Everybody acting like they protecting me. But I'm not getting none of that. I'm the one that's out here just keep getting harassed and dealt with. And then people say, when you tell the truth behind what's going on, see, she wasn't real, but you're not real either, because you're living in a life that was created and meant for me to be there. But because your situation keep denying me the opportunity to move up and move forward, then I just get to sit down here and not go nowhere, be anything, when it's only because I set up and I mess with a certain kind of person or man. These people wasn't going back and forth prior to. They was going back and forth because your man was going back and forth between me and you. And I just had to accept it. But then you don't want to deal with the smoke behind the fucked up stuff that led me to have to go through what was going on. Nobody want to deal with the magnitude of how their situation, the people that they trusted and believed in. Don't nobody want to ever deal with the fact that you hurt me, and they're gonna bottle that shit up and keep it somewhere where the most fucked up part is gonna happen. They're gonna know that you're gonna know that this shit was there if you cheat. You're gonna find out that this shit was there if you cheat. If you're cheating, you're going to find the truth. And the truth of the matter is that you're automatically cheating. You're automatically due for retaliation because you're not living in your life. You're living in somebody else's life. And you're being retaliated because you're living in someone else's cycle that's not yours. So they make you turn around and do everything that person is doing so that you don't have to suffer, when the truth of the matter is that you just had to suffer. You did. You had to suffer. They don't want to mess with the order. And if you be yourself, you wear your braids. I'll never forget how they were saying that because I just desired to look like how other black women like me looked. And I was working on myself and trying to feel better and do better for myself. How I was tormented and used and talked about because I was taking pride in myself and building myself up and having wishful thinking and needs for the way that I wanted my body to look. And because if anybody else was attracted to that, I should be punished. I should lose my job. Because I took pride in myself, because people was using a system to punish me because I wanted to look better, or I had an idea of what I wanted myself to look like. The things that everything the Bible has told us that we should not take pride in. We should never take pride in the fact that and having a body with a behind. And even when I was just sitting looking to learn about this stuff that everybody seemed to be picking up and doing. I think that the information on the test and stuff that we get is not the same. I don't think that information is the same at all. It's not the same. It ain't the same. I keep dealing with stuff and they just wanted me to deal with it so that I could be right there in person whenever the situation happened. But the truth of the matter is that it's not with this technology stuff. I can already see my son is having an issue with his sign on for school, and I keep talking to the school about it. I keep telling them that when he goes to complete his assignments, my name is showing up on there other than his name. So now that my name is showing up on there, they're not giving him credit, and they're kicking my kids out of school and saying that, or they kicked Avery out of school before because they said that he wasn't going to class, but that wasn't true. And the system had an issue, but they didn't want to fix it. They didn't want to fix it at all. They just kicked us out and said, send them back to the regular school. And that's all they want. They just want for my kids to have to go back to the school, to the place where actually they told me that I needed to either, that they didn't have hope for Avery at home because they keep giving him homework and stuff that I'm learning in college. The same stuff that I'm learning in college is the same stuff that my children are learning at home. From the internet at home. My children are learning the college material that I am learning in school. Everything that I'm learning in school, my children are sitting at home learning it. And because they want you to be like, you have to just, you would have to admit to the fact that you're helping your children with their work. I do. I tell them at the school, I tell the people in Huron all the time that I have to help my children with their work because they don't understand the work. And I have to help them understand it at that point in time. They don't understand what's going on. They don't understand. And that just only leads back to the system on the other side that somebody is still stupid. Somebody is in the know. Like they don't know on the other side what's going on. Because if they do know, then they're going to turn it around. Somebody don't know about an infidelity. Somebody don't know about something. And in the event that they do, they're going to hurt or kill one of my family members because of that. And that's just how the police system moves. And that's the reason why these people at this place, they tried to tell me that the one teacher that I have now lost her mother, that it was a very tragic situation, that she had lost her mother, and she was very hysterical about the situation. A lot of times these people keep saying the same stuff over and over again about what was supposed to happen. These were things that happened to me. I lost my father and I was very hysterical. People walked out of my life and played games with me. And I was at that point in time, I was very hysterical. It didn't have anything to do with this person with the initials TW or whatever, losing 8 people or whatever the case may be. But it was the fact that I was dealing with this person that was dealing with me. And I had to take losses over and over and over again. They killed my father for it. And now they're trying to come back and kill my mother for it. For me dealing with this person, and they telling me that I stepped off into something when the person that you have belongs to the identity that you have. It belongs to me. Everybody keep looking over me, keep acting like I don't exist when what I have, what you have is mine. You keep trying to figure shit out, talking about this belongs to you, but it belongs to me. And I'm sitting up here and they telling you, you got to stay here, but then you keep experiencing hurtful situations everywhere and you're just supposed to give that up. They threatened to kill my children. And everything that they threatened to do to me, they showed me that they would do it through people that was around me. They threatened to kill my children. They told me I had to give up my son. And they took my son and they put him in jail for 3 months in order to accept them trying to kill my son, because they said that my son was said that in the next day that something was going to happen and that my son was having a really bad seizure. And it took him 10 minutes to come out of the seizure. And nobody would, it never take no police or nothing like that as long. But the one thing I noticed was that night the police didn't show up. The police didn't show up, the sheriff did. We don't even live in a sheriff area for the sheriff to show up like that. The police showed up. I mean, the sheriff showed up instead of the police. And then the ambulance showed up. And he was asking me if my son had took any of the medicines over there. And I was like, no. What medicine? Like, it wasn't even no medicine over there. But nobody had knew or understand the situation that one day my son went and got into, I had turned around. And this happened before because I was pregnant with Avery. Went, sat down on the couch. I was on bed rest. And it was just me and Robert at the house. Me, Robert, and I was pregnant. Robbie, like my son Robert, not the daddy Robert. My son Robert, and I was pregnant with Avery, and I was on bed rest. And I got him something to eat or something, walked over to the couch, and he was gone. And all of a sudden, I'm like, calling the boy Robbie, calling him Robbie, and nothing. Until I heard him cry, like he had cried, and he had fell down the stairs and had bit a hole in his tongue. And I'm like, how does that happen? So I got to get up, take this child. His mouth wouldn't stop bleeding. I had to get up and take him to St. John Hospital on 12 Mile in Hoover. Had to take him to St. John Hospital, where they had to put stitches in his tongue. Dissolvable stitches. This is what I had to go through. So I can't remember, I can't forget that. Then I had another situation that happened upstairs because I had lost my house. I got harassed and stuff on the job at Whirlpool. And then they showed me that the black lady that they were saying get rid of the fat one. I noticed that that was one of the messages. It's like I'm listening to the black box of what actually happened when this situation was going on. I heard him say, get rid of the fat one. And then the lady, after I had was working at the job with, I was working at the job with, or at Walgreens, working at the job at Walgreens. And the lady Brandy Noshel, she kept harassing me and doing stuff to me. And I was like, okay, this just happens over and over again. It just happened. So what do you got to do? You either got to bite the bullet and just take it and accept people treating you bad, or you have to, stand up and say something. And at that point in time, they was already talking about taking my job away from me. So I was saying what I had to say. I had to say what I had to say because these people was treating me messed up and they was talking to me crazy and they didn't expect for me to say nothing or tell about the behaviors and stuff that they was doing. They just didn't want you to have phones on you. They didn't want you to be able to record their behavior towards you so that they can continue to get away with what they were doing. They know you can't have a phone in a certain area, so they will disrespect you, treat you real messed up, and then be like, all right. But then when that happened, I told them about what happened with Brandy. What they ended up doing was is that they moved her. So they had moved her into a different place. She wasn't a police officer, but she was working in this company. And they moved her from it wasn't Grosse Point. It's like the Walgreens off of Kelly Road or something like that. Kelly or whatever. I worked at several different Walgreens, and because I was a manager, they moved me around a lot. So I had to work at that one. I worked with her there. They ended up the lady that worked on the front register. She had a whole bunch of young kids, and she ended up dying because of this stuff. And then they ended up moving. Brandy ended up surviving. They moved her to North Carolina, and then later on from the church, they moved somebody from Michigan to North Carolina, and then they ended up losing one of their children. So it's like whatever it is that they do in this system is actually attacking children, and when you don't get no help from the system or anything like that, um, they're able to hide you in the dark. If you have some type of case or something connected to the system, then that they have a way to keep an eye on you to see exactly what you're doing through this cellular activity program. That's the green light program. That's where they get the cellular, the Wi-Fi, all that different stuff. Which is also, I have stories for that too, because I dealt with Robert and he was talking about, he would try to say stuff and he would say stuff like, I literally sit and make you mad so that you'll get up and clean up. After I done worked a full-time job, after I done, I worked a full-time job to pay all the bills. I come home, I take care of the children, and you sit and you play video games. But you have to sit when I'm tired. I have to get up and I have to continue to keep doing everything when you're here. And so now that nobody is here, I have to get up and continue to keep doing the same thing. It's like you're conditioning me and you're using me. Like you have me in a trap and you're using me to continue to keep making things easier for you so that you can have representation, even though you're keeping me locked up so that I can't have it, and you're threatening to kill children with it. He threatened to kill my child, and the little boy Harley Dilly ended up coming up missing, and he ended up dying in Port Clinton in Port Clinton in Ohio. They used this. They used my own family. And that's how the reason why y'all have black sheeps in the family, because this system use your own family. They use those people as escape routes so that you don't deal with them, you don't have contact with them. They use them as escape routes so that they can move clean on from the situation. And if you do have um contact with these people, they kill your family members with this system. They do. They kill your family members with it.
I'm making a bowl with some food in them. Do you want any food? Cheese?
Wash your hands.
I will.
I just, from time to time, I think about this stuff that has happened to me over and over again. And I just think about how many people, all the dreams and the goals I have for me and my family to at least just be able to get back together and have better. And the ways that they manipulate people in order to get it. They don't shake these companies down. They don't shake the police down that work with these companies. They do shake the pastors and stuff down, but the people that actually have, they just shifting who has what back and forth. When they're talking about somebody, this was going on beforehand. This wasn't just going on beforehand. It was going on, but they don't want to talk about, or they don't want to acknowledge who it there. They don't want to say that there was an origin of something that was going on, and this person isn't moving. They want to stick the dirt and the guilt with somebody that already went through it. Somebody that was already there, taking care of business, doing everything that was right. And then people get stuck in this situation with them. And then because they're tired and they can't handle what you're doing, and they don't want to be medicated in order to have to handle what's going on. You have to watch them suffer because you didn't want to be quiet behind the horrible treatment, the things that they were doing to you and your children. They're going to move on to harass my mother about it. And they're going to probably try to come back and harass my children again and tell them to kill themselves. Or they're going to go back to the people that's somewhere else. Nobody want to take away their responsibility from this situation that's going on. That's because everybody know that everybody was doing dirt, that people was fighting people on the job, fighting females on the job, fighting, treating people messed up, trying to get people fired off of their job, and you're living in their life. You living in their life, but you trying to get them fired off of their job. And then you have to be, what do you call it? You have to be picked on and dogged out because people are treating you in a messed up manner. They don't want for you to know and understand that you have a right to be heard and understood behind what's happening. They just want you to keep thinking that I'm just suffering, and who do we wait on? Who do we depend on? They want you to continue to keep working and waiting on somebody that they do not expect to come and rescue you. They don't expect for anybody to come and rescue you. They just want you to continue to have faith. And they had a promise. A promise for who? A promise for who? I've been here waiting for that promise. I have been here waiting. I have been here waiting when I was quiet for years and I was sitting and waiting. And I thought y'all said that I had a God that always seen everything and did everything. So why is it? Why is it that I can be out here going through all of this messed up stuff, people mishandling me, and nobody out of all of these people, nobody has the full complete truth that you will make sure that everybody else had a better way to live and a better way to do anything except for using children to do y'all dirty work. I'm tired of them allowing people to continue to keep doing dirty work over my children. And y'all gonna continue to keep letting these people keep living their life and doing the stuff that they doing, and they causing all this commotion, and they get to be what they consider to be quote unquote peace officers when they ain't brought nothing but peace. They sitting in these jobs treating people bad, and the information that you receiving across your phone and the things that they doing to you is supposed to be like a general whatever, but when you're using my identity to live and create and do what you're doing, you're using my children that you coerced to be here, and then you shame for them being here, and then you allow for them to be picked on and messed with so that you can build up a talent, so that you can make them whatever. You allowing them to be beat up and bruised in the street, and then I can't even call on you to help me. I can't even call on you to help me. And instead of catching the bad people in the situation, what they would rather say is that only thing he gonna either do is he gonna tell the truth, or he gonna go around and start sleeping with a whole bunch of more people again. He gonna go around and start sleeping with a whole bunch of people again, or he just gonna have to tell the truth and deal with it. Like everybody else don't have to sit here and deal with the situation because you don't want to tell these people. Just like when she was trying to get me fired and said a whole bunch of stuff to me, and then you just like, oh, you can't say nothing about that. I continuously keep getting people talking to me and telling me that I can't say anything about this because of what? Who does it hurt? It hurts you in the end. You don't want it to hurt you in the end. You trying to get me fired and kicked off of my job, but then, you don't even have to suffer none of the consequences after you've lived in my life. After you sat and you've lived in my life, you don't even have to deal with the consequences of what you're doing. You just move on to the next best thing. You set it up so that you can move people out of your life and continue to keep sleeping with people and doing different things so that you could commit identity theft between them. But yet y'all don't talk about the same side of the system, or you can go here, you can do that. What about when you have the quote unquote the system possessing people back and forth? When people are just living their life, y'all are literally throwing innocent people in jail. So now they making police officers suffer, and they want to give you a person to be mad in. Either leave this relationship, abuse this person, or kill your wife and leave this relationship, which is what they show me on my phone all day long, images of police officers abusing their wives or killing people or having to. Lady at my school the other day, she said her brother was a police officer, and her brother got mad because every time he walks into the house, people hide from him, or the children hide from him. That's exactly what happened to me. Every time I would go in somewhere, the people would hide from me because they didn't want to have to help me at all. They didn't want to have to help me. They didn't want to have to do anything to help me. They hide. They go somewhere else because they know that what they have does not belong to them. It belongs to someone else. So now they have to protect it. They have to build all these different lies, and they have to build up lies against you. And that's the reason why this religion tells you it's like a backhand system that works with the other side that just controls who and how you do what you do. And now they're seeing that it's messed up, but because you have been conditioned to believe all the fucked up lies for all these years, you are sitting here believing that, damn, I helped this girl and it crashed. And what I do know is that I can't mess with a big girl with a big butt. They're gonna condition you to believe that, damn, this the girl you're not supposed to be messing with. Don't talk to her. Don't mess with her. Don't deal with her. She's not for you. She's a bad person. You would rather somebody go around and believe that because that's what you don't have in order to secure something in your name so that somebody will have to continuously keep working up and to measure up to what you have so that you can keep having stones to step on or people to step on in order for you to be able to live and survive because you don't have what you have. Instead of being a good person to somebody. People don't ever have to, with this stuff, it's like they put in work or they did what these people wanted and you can't make it up to be that point, and you got to just deal with one of the people that they want you to deal with so that they can figure out how to start building off of those people. They just want you to accept what they want you to accept, which is, that's what I'm tired of. I accepted it. Like, what's really going on here? Y'all got the police playing matchmaker, or they wives playing matchmaker? Like, what is really going on here? It's unfair that we should have to continue to keep living like this because y'all want all the help and y'all want all the backing. Like, it's unfair. And they want you to accept more so of the federal dollars than they want you to accept. They want you to accept federal dollars more so than they want you to accept welfare dollars, because with welfare dollars is where sickness come from, and the federal dollars is supposed to be where the health. They don't want you to know and understand that. So the one thing they said is that you had to stay a certain way, but the system wasn't perched like that. And you could not do more or beyond that, whatever, if it hasn't been done in this specific system. If it hasn't been done, then you can't do it because you don't even have the energy behind you to do it. That's the reason why these young people was dying. They expected for me and my children to die. They kept these people from helping me so that me and my children, they expected for us to die. And I'm not even doing nothing. Me and my children not even doing nothing. And they made my son have to be guilty so that they didn't have to, we're going to see who was actually doing it. Now you here and you seeing that we're not even doing nothing, and yet stuff's still going on. That mean that you've been bamboozled. That mean that the people that you were helping on the other side was the people that was hurting and harming you in your name. So now you're going to actually cut down the people that's actually in need. And the people that actually scam the help from you is going to move on to the next person. The only thing you're going to do is you're going to put up stipulations that only hurt poor people more and help the other people to hide and conceal exactly where it is, because y'all are just going to give up. After that situation happened, after the poor people are gone, y'all are going to act like y'all don't see nothing no more. Because you don't have a reason to fight and you don't have a reason to do anything that you're doing. All this shit is a show. It's a show. It's the backhand behind why these people doing what they doing. But now they say they cut y'all off and they making y'all work hard to build back up all these other states and stuff that y'all kept their wealth here in Ohio. They making y'all work. But y'all brought the person here. The person that y'all have been attacking and doing all the messed up stuff too and keeping them from doing stuff. Y'all brought that person here to help y'all. Y'all threatened their children. Did whatever and whoever. Y'all did all that stuff. Y'all did all of that. Y'all just have ways and gateways to get back into stuff and be in certain places so they can take what belongs to somebody else. It's unfair. Now look, and I see that my mother had to suffer so bad. And my father had to suffer so bad. And they were good people. They were. They were good people. Why I said watch these people use this system to, and they bragged about hurting and killing people, and children were hurting. And they tried to do something on 9/11. They tried to do something. It keeps showing me where somebody tried to do something and then stop some type of system or cut some type of system off. And it was affecting actual people. And then all of a sudden, the 2 planes messed up real bad. This stuff has been going back for ages. Them people retaliated in a system. Like somebody was doing something and they retaliated something in the system. And they need to figure out that this just ain't the way. This little stuff you using, it ain't the way. I'm right here. They're talking about having hope for somebody, but I'm right here. And if anybody had hope for me, they wouldn't be sitting up trying to force this stuff on me while I'm going through one of the hardest times of my life. They wouldn't be sitting here trying to force this shit on me. They would not have made this woman suffer losing her damn son and losing all this other shit. They would not have made that shit happen to her if they cared. These people not supposed to be having no friends. Most of them not even supposed to be having a family. But because they have people like me that they can sit and punish and act like we did some really messed up stuff when they have done a lot worse. They knew that this shit was happening and coming. I remember sitting as a child on the porch and they had the whatchamacallit had went out. And the stuff that's happening right now, this was their opportunity to build people up like us. But because they had denied us for so long, they didn't have anybody to fill in the gap. So now they sitting here overworking themselves, trying to make it seem like, damn, if y'all had just let somebody come to work peacefully, you could have knew exactly what it was. But sweetie, if I was to stay at work there or had went back after that 30-day thing, the only thing they would have did was use that shit to kick me out of my job. I would have went back and then they would have wrote me up and said that you did this and you did that and you were supposed to do this and now you lose your job. They'd have did that shit. Because they was trying to get me to have to accept something out of the situation. That's when they shaving stuff away, rezoning, making people say, "Oh, I don't, deny this, deny this, deny this, and deny this." When the truth of the matter is that y'all literally sitting up here, got kids being denied, got all types of stuff because y'all ain't strong enough. Who's to care? I have been through some stuff for a long time, but I know one thing I have not done is I have not denied these people. I haven't said I don't use with them, I don't fuck with them, none of that other shit. I never said none of that stuff. The one thing I have said is the truth about how they treated me on that job. And I told them that I would not come back until conditions were better. But at that point in time, who cares when you have done some of the worst shit? Who cares? Then they came out and they decided that they was going to try to kill me and my children because of a system that y'all got going that ain't got nothing to do with me. And I'm sitting up here and y'all done used some shit and did some fuckery and I'm stuck here. And everybody just want to contribute it to the fact that you lied. But ain't nobody going to tell the truth behind the reason why. Nobody gonna say this. They just gonna say she can't be trusted. But y'all got people that's living in your own bed that's out here dealing with different people. And y'all saying that I can't be trusted. I don't live in your house. I don't kiss you every day. I don't make you dinner. You don't make me dinner. I'm literally sitting here minding my own business, taking care of my children. And these people were attacking me. Then told me, these people literally was sending messages to my phone telling me that I had to be picked up in order to leave here out of Ohio. That I had to be picked up. These people literally caused you to have issues in your life. Nobody cared when they didn't think that they had to answer to anybody. They didn't care. They already know what it is because they had already decided to limit your time. They had already decided to limit your time. Because they don't want to be held back. They come and they harassing me and they call themselves being in a standoff with me, but they're not in a standoff with me. They're in a standoff with the truth behind keeping the truth from infesting the people that has been doing all this running and all of this so-called work to keep the truth from getting to them. I'm not messing with these people. I don't have a reason to mess with them. But the one thing I know is that when I hear something and it don't make sense, it just don't make sense. So everybody had to try to make it seem like we got to hurry up and let it be like this. You came in contact with this person and this person just so happened to be a detective and this just so happened to be happening and that so happened to be happening and now this is happening here and that's happening there. And this is some messed up shit. that I had to sit and hurt like this. I am hurting. And the people that I looked up to, regardless to what the streets say, regardless to the whole snitch the fuck the police, I never been one of those people. Never. I had never been one of those people that was like fuck the police because I just valued the human over the fucking job. I just never was one of those people until this very last one tried me after time and time again of people continuously doing stuff to you over and over and over and over and over again. Continuously doing stuff to you. And then you have to figure out after these people, after you worked your way to the top, ain't nobody built you up. You didn't have to do everything and work your way to the top. How people just knock you down and make you not have to be, you got to continue to keep submitting yourself to different people. And that's so unfair. For somebody else to go back down to the bottom, for somebody else to tell you that you got to give your body to me. You got to give your body to me and in order to be cared for and loved. And then not only did they do that, they put me in a situation where all of the memories behind all the stuff that happened, you got me working with people by the names of the people that was sleeping with me when I was a child. And I was supposed to just get through that stuff and be okay. What they want is for you to medicate me and to act like this is what the case or the cause is. That I have to be medicated after y'all have sent these men and they was sleeping with me. I was a child and they was sleeping with me. Candace Van Lowe, I was a child and these men was sleeping with me, and the only thing that y'all could do was return this shit on my son. Y'all return this shit on my son. The one that had to be tore down and walked away from and sheltered away from y'all bullshit. Y'all used him and then y'all told him that he was a great person after y'all used him. Said that he was a great person after y'all used him. Then they not even smart enough to pick up the pieces behind the people that they using. They attacking the church because they've quote unquote taken the church's power, right? And they was dependent on God, or they was dependent on their source to be able to pick something up and punish these people and do all of these things. And they tried to bully me and harass me. They tried to make me lose my job. They tried to bully and harass me to make me have to be out of a situation. I was the one. I was there every time. I was the one. My identity was being stolen away from me. They was causing for my family members to be at discord and not have peace with each other. And this is what we lived through for an entire lifetime, that we couldn't even have access to a father and a paternal family like that. And the only thing I get to know and the only thing I get to understand is that life is just fucked up. Life is so fucked up. And they want to try to make it so that everybody stay away from them. Nobody go near them. Nobody do anything. But you done helped all the people that was doing whatever. And these people was here. They was sitting up telling people, don't deal with me. How am I supposed to come forward or have anything when you telling people don't even deal with me? Don't talk to me. Leave me alone. How do you continue to do that? Then these people understand what? That they are the reason why. They the reason why. But they going against everything that I have ever loved and known. They going against it. And then they tell me to pick a side or I gotta die. Either I gotta die or one of my children gotta die. No, I don't accept that shit for anybody. That's the reason why I've been right here in the center minding my business while y'all sit and y'all harass me. And then everybody sitting acting like they don't understand why or where my aggression come from. This shit came from before I was talking. But y'all gonna sit and act like y'all don't know. The situation why we going through this situation now is because you're tied to a system that is tied to me. And everybody want to free themselves, and now your child is sitting with it, and you're scared because you don't want for that situation what I am going through to go through for you. It's fucked up that the same person that was trying to sit and protect themselves, they don't know anything. I was so thinking about you. I was thinking about you so much, but yet you didn't even try to find a way to reach out to me. These people been making my life hell, and I've been stuck behind you and what the fuck y'all been doing. And yet you continue to sit and continue to keep hurting me and mistreating me. They hurting elderly people, and in the end, that cuts into them. If you allow these young drug dealers that's tainting the church system to come through and fuck with all of that, then yeah, y'all out here fighting people, but still won't deal with the very people that was fucking on children and smoking and doing drugs before they go into Henry Ford Hospital in order to take care of your children. They was doing that shit in my face like I didn't even know who it was. They was doing this shit in my face. And I am pretty sure Shelly, whoever, I'm sure, I don't know, her name keep coming up. The babies that they have to protect them and their father. When she was talking about her husband had lost his dog, which is the mark of the beast. She said that her husband dog had died because he got shot and while they was hunting. And that's an indicator of what's going to happen. Whatever happens with the animal or the dog is like the person. You know, the king had a person that would test the food prior to see what was going on. The king had people that would, that would do things first before they did it so that they would know that it did not kill them. That's what dogs are. Dogs are through this cellular system. The dogs experience a whole bunch of shit, and then you either gonna take care of them or have the dog put down. But what you don't understand is that shit, when you put a dog down, when you're talking about he was suffering, so I put him down, that shit, actual real people on the other side deal with the repercussions of what you did with that animal because you sat and you act like that animal was a real person. And then y'all telling us to stay away from the mark of the beast because y'all don't want anybody to know that that's where your goodies are. That's where you keep your stash in the mark of the beast so that these people will stay away from it and you won't touch it so that you do not reap the benefits of what's coming from that. But now the mark of the beast has been tainted. It's been tainted. And they're trying to go back and fix it. They're killing children in order to do it. I'm here. I'm here in y'all face. I'm here letting people know whatever, and then y'all just gonna sit up and act like, yeah, it's because you doing this and you doing that, and yeah, you're doing this and you're acting a certain way. Why wouldn't I act this way? Why would I not act this way? The jobs can do it. The churches can do it. Why would I not act this way? If the church didn't feel a certain way, they would disown themselves from it. Even children that they had out of their own bodies, if they don't like the way that they act or behave themselves, they disown their own children. So why would I not stop dealing with people that's doing fucked up shit like fucking on children when the same system denounces that? Like, no, you can't come along and fuck on our children and we keeping an eye on these kids. The same system you have denounces that. Yet you still allow them to come along, fuck on the kids, do whatever they're doing. Then they use this system to put the children in the system. So while y'all locking up these kids, they're using the children, the people that you're locking up in the system. They're using these children to set you up and do all the fucked up stuff to you that the police was doing before you. The people and the people that was doing the shit before you, they are trying to fix a system or using a system to try to fix and act like they don't know anything about it. That's the reason why Shelly from Whirlpool had brought up the fact that her husband worked for the police and that Andy Althouse had a family member that worked for the police as well. He kept saying that, and they wanted to make sure that everybody had a police officer in their family except for Candace. And then at the end of the day, the police officers come to bully me. They used to quote unquote the old lady that live in Huron. And then they picked on me and they bullied me and they tried to, that whoever used this system, which came behind the traffic stop that I had with one of the Ohio State police officers. Of course, the people with the job, whatever, they was waiting on me. They said that they was waiting on me. And they was laughing and they was doing all types of fuck shit because they thought that, oh, she's gone, we're this and we're that. But this was my actual life. This was my actual life. These people was fucking with me. This was my actual life. And they was doing this stuff to my children. And this was our actual life. And so when they have this shift, what they do is they start retaliating against people anywhere where these business codes are. A lot of people, you are starting businesses and they are becoming to be successful. But what's going to happen or what has happened in the past is when these people have these systems and they're alternating the information between several different states. So Ohio may have been doing business with the state of Michigan or been doing business with people through the state of Michigan in order to swindle the state of Michigan out of lots of money and lots of power and lots of representation and lots of wealth for its people or for its constituents there. They regulate through the people. They say that, hey, the state of Ohio or Michigan is not taking care of its people, so they have to come to Ohio to get a job. So we need more funds here to keep these people while they are here. But what they're doing is they're switching out those things. It's the bait and switch. They're switching out those identities. They're giving them to the local people so the local people can get money and stuff and energy. They'll work it off through the jobs. And then they send the old fucked up energy back to the people that go home. They want people that know how and act like they got some sense to come and work for Ohio, and then they send the fucked up stuff back home. And then y'all have a whole bunch of like violence and shit that be happening in y'all states and shit. And that's because of these states that are hiring people from other countries and from other places that they say, we want you to go somewhere and act like you have some sense, and then when you leave, we're going to send a gift back home with you. And that's the gift of the fucked up energy, that if you was out partying, drinking, doing different things, they're going to send that cycle back home to your people, even if you wasn't doing nothing. The reason right now why, if you go into other states, like I had went into the state of Michigan the other day, I went, and it is the calmest that I have ever seen Michigan ever be. I have not seen, I went to, and I seen them having a Halloween block party, and that was one of the quietest block parties that I had ever seen ever. And there was a whole bunch of people out, and they were celebrating each other. It was calm and it was quiet there. How they try to make it look like how Detroit is so bad and how you would never go back to Detroit, and they don't want people from Ohio there, and they don't want people from Michigan here. So they tried to kick us out, and they tried to harass and bully us so that we would leave out of the system. But it didn't work this time. It didn't. They were going to set up for me and my children to be killed with the system that they have. They were going to let that shit happen. They were going to let it happen. They were going to try to kill me and my children here. They were going to try, but they weren't even successful. They were going to try to kill us in Ohio. And these people was treating us so bad until something happened. And then all of a sudden these people started treating us better. But now they just use the system, the cellular activity, to boss us around. So everything that's happening in my life, they said at one point in time, well, now you're getting ready to be go national or something like that. I don't necessarily care about that. I don't care about the fact that people can see that I don't have all the money and I don't have all the people and all the love that I was supposed to have. People should know that, because I have given that and I never received it back. People should be able to see and know that I put out so much love and attention, and I ran and I did everything that I possibly could, yet I still suffer. Y'all make my children suffer. Y'all made my children hurt. Y'all made my children go through a whole bunch of shit. I had to go through a lot of shit. And at the end of the day, none of this shit covered me. None of it helped me. Nobody cared. Y'all only cared because it affected you. And then you begin to move and you begin to do whatever it was that you could do. But because I did not stay, because I did not like the way that you treated me, I had to deal with your shit. Y'all was using this shit to kill my family members, to try to hurt my family members. And now they're caught in the middle of their own fucking storm, and they're trying to figure out how to get the fuck out of it. But you've hurt people over and over and over again. And the only thing y'all can do is tell people that black people like me are bad for knowing the truth and for going through the truth and saying not to ruin somebody else's day. Fuck all of that. When y'all was ruining all of my days and I had to be tired, I had to be stressed out, I had to be hurt, I had to be all of that shit, and nobody cared. Nobody fucking cared. And this is the only time and opportunity that I have to speak up about the things that people have been doing to me for ages. And then they counted me out and they took all of my blessings and everything that I had to show for all of the hard work and the love that I have put into this life. And the only thing that y'all could do is tell me is that I just have to be quiet about it. I can't talk about it. I'm going to talk about this. If you want to come back and tell people about how I slept around with different people because your system used me to do it, because you told me that and you made me think that, you showed me the same stuff that you're showing me now, and you did the same things that you're doing to me now. Yet y'all got these young white men here on this medication telling them that they have all types of diseases when y'all inflicted this shit on them. Y'all inflicted this shit onto them. And so now they have to live with the fact that the people that stand over them, that act like they love and they care about them, was only using them to take care of themselves. And y'all mad why y'all showing me all these videos and stuff about these children killing their parents, and y'all scared and all this other stuff, and y'all putting y'all children out because y'all scared of that. The system that you supported so that you didn't have to know the details about it supported that for you so that you would never have to know. They just said that you had to medicate your children and keep them medicated in order for them to so that you can be able to continue to go to work, because they was taking life from people that had Medicaid. They was taking life from people who had Medicaid and Medicare. And because their cycle had to be compliant with your cycle, you had to accept the cycle that was covered by Medicaid and Medicare. And you had to go through stuff, and you had to go through medicating children. Had to go through medicating children so that young children, so that they could be able to do whatever. But now y'all just like, damn, what you gonna do? Put pills in the mouths of babies in order to keep this shit going on? You gonna dope up the actual babies? No, y'all gonna sit up and keep acting like it's the mother, like it's Candace's problem, and Candace should be taking this medication so that other people don't have to become dope heads for us. They don't have to become dope heads for us. The only thing y'all gotta do is tell the truth so that these people can live with the truth. Because, of course, these people are going to cry. They're going to be fucked up because y'all have led them in a place to make them believe that y'all loved and cared for them for a long-ass time like y'all did me. They're going to be fucked up. And God have mercy on the police. God have mercy on them. Because they actually have a God and a system that works for them, that loves them. I didn't have that. That hopefully after all the fucked up stuff they did to y'all, all the training they put y'all through, the family members that y'all lost through this system, and all the scrutiny that y'all took for people at the top to sit up there and be like, to just enforce and do fucked up stuff so that you can match what's going on the bottom. And then they make you mad at the people that's on the bottom so that you don't look at the people that's fucking you over from the top. Y'all constantly talking about people peeing on y'all, and y'all constantly seeing people peeing on y'all from the top, but yet y'all mad at the people on the bottom. Why? Because the cellular activity from the people on the top is put in the people that's on the bottom, so that you know, so that you're not mad directly at the top. You take your anger out on the people that's at the top to the people at the bottom. The people at the top father the children at the bottom so that you would pick on those children. So that you would lock them up, pick on them, throw them in jail, throw away the key, and fuck around with them so that y'all can make an extra dollar. But they don't tell y'all that. They continue to keep pushing the levy that black people are bad people and we should keep them out of our community. It's just because they're sleeping around, but then know that their husbands are sleeping around on them, and they'll accept it and keep it in their life. Because they don't want to stop the money from coming. And they don't want their family members to die. They put the identities from these cops and black people, and then they infest them, and then they accuse them of shit. So that their children don't come back to hate them. But when their children dealing with a whole bunch of people and sleeping with people, they begin to see the truth about the cycles that be manifested right there in their home. And they have to see, and that's the reason why these people start running away. The children, they start running away and doing a whole bunch of shit. But when they put that shit off on black people, then they act like they don't understand why these black children are coming away. Because y'all using cellular activity to control these people and these children in their mind. I already seen how y'all did it. I already seen it. I literally sat up here and I seen it. I literally sat up here and created it. Then y'all gonna sit here and act like I'm a problem. And I haven't done anything to y'all. Y'all keep putting me in fucked up situations. Y'all fucking with children and changing my children so to fit y'all narrative and what y'all want to be and how y'all want to react. Yet nobody is going and shutting the businesses down because the businesses pay y'all so that y'all can keep harassing other people and turn y'all head to what the fuck is going on right here in the businesses. Then they got y'all to cover and harass people and kill people with the system so that they can continue to keep slaving people and using businesses off of that business that worked with them by the name that W or T or M or whatever the case may be. You got these people sitting up working with you in order to recoup what they have lost for all the scrutiny that they've done. It's just like they get punished and then they get rewarded for doing bad, and then if they get punished, they get paid more. But the truth of the fact is y'all don't tell them that they was losing family members because of that. If y'all got wives that's losing people, it ain't because of the people on the bottom, it's because the people on the top allowed it to happen. They knew it was going to happen and they still allowed it. And then they got to give you a couple of days off so that you can recuperate yourself because they knew that the shit was going to happen. They knew it. It was either going to be your family members or it was going to be you. They was going to set you up to be killed on your job as a police officer. I know, because it already happened. Y'all better go and invest in this fucking world in a different way instead of keep piling y'all ass up in the police line thinking that shit is going to save you. That ain't going to save you. Do some other shit to help these kids actually go out. The police shouldn't have to stretch their own ass to be teachers, police officers, feeding motherfuckers. They shouldn't have to be a single parent like y'all made me have to be.